And there I stood with anger, resentment, pain, questions in my mind. God must have lied to me. I said, lied to us. He said something was going to happen in this meeting that has never happened anywhere else. What could it have been? The conversation today is about really what do you do when you're doing everything right and you're not getting the right result? What do you do when you're making all the sense but nobody's listening? Do you just get angry about those who are getting the attention and the result? Hate them, castigate them, find ways to cast aspersion on the things that they're doing? Or are there things you can learn? You see, our society has gotten it wrong in its attempt to define progress by looking at the attention people get. We've gotten it wrong by trying to define what makes sense by looking at the accolades. Maybe sometimes it's not about that. And I'm not here to tell you about what you should do and how you should get all the attention and all that. But I'm about to focus your attention on you to help you understand. Maybe you're not looking at the right place and maybe you're not looking in the right direction. One of the things strategic leaders have learned to do is how to build in silence. The fact that people are not giving the attention to the things that you're doing is more of an opportunity than a challenge. Yes, you heard me. An opportunity to cross your T's and dot your I's, to be able to build not just the platform, not just the work, but yourself. The character that you build in the days that nobody pay attention will carry you and keep you level-headed in the days that people begin to listen to you. You see, if you begin to do things at once and suddenly it's all over the place, there will be that tendency for you to feel that you're better than everyone else. And sometimes the things we call problems are there not to break us, but to shape us, to mold us into the kind of persons that we should be. The people who can really handle the light, who can handle the success, who can handle the attention. There is a quality of person that can handle that. And that quality of person is tested in the days that things are dark. The sense of loneliness that you feel in your heart, the discouragement when you do everything right and nobody is listening to it, the pain, the silence, the conclusion that maybe you are not loved, the rejection. In itself, that fire is not just burning, it is refining. It is not destroying, it is molding. It is not pulling down, it is building a man. I remember years ago, we were planning a major meeting and, I separated myself to fast, to pray. And guess what? In one of those prayer meetings, I heard something strange. I heard God say to us, a word of prophecy came, and I'm going to do in this meeting what I've never done before. At that time, I was living in a face your apartment. If you know what that means, then you're a Nigerian. That kind of house where you have just rooms, people facing each other. You have to manage everywhere. You have to share the toilet. You have to share the kitchen. That was the kind of place that I was. So I expected so much from the meeting, particularly because God spoke. And also I went on the stretch of fasting. I think 9 days, no food, just water. And there, the day of the meeting came. Oh, before the day of the meeting, I imagined what was going to happen at the meeting, the flow of the Spirit, mighty outpouring. I went to a fashion designer and I emptied my account to make a white native. I wanted to look like Benin. I said to myself, when I step into this place, it will be clear that a powerful man is around. The day of the meeting, I didn't have a car. So the fellowship, the church, or they were not a church, a fellowship went to go borrow a car from a fellowship on campus because Pastor Lazarus wanted to use the car. So they came with that bus to pick me from my face you house and straight to the venue of the meeting. What I noticed was that it was raining heavily. When we got to the venue of the meeting, I was hearing sounds from afar. And I kept saying to myself, I want to believe and I hope that this kind of sound is not coming from the meeting we have labored for, we have prayed and fasted. I want to believe. I thought the sound was going to be the least of my problem till I stepped into the venue of the meeting. Then I saw something strange, a sight no visionary I want to see. It was almost empty. The people we had invited, nobody showed up. The gospel minister we invited to come and sing, as he held the mic, because of the rain, it was shocking them. So you were having all kinds of sounds everywhere. It was shapeless and formless. And there I stood with anger, resentment, pain, questions in my mind. God must have lied to me. I said, lied to us. He said something was going to happen in this meeting that has never happened anywhere else. What could it have been? I climbed up to preach, and I was so angry. I preached with anger. Every altar call I called that day was with pain. I called them like, if you're not ready to give your life to Christ, go and die and burn in hell. You should go and all. That was the feeling I had. Amazingly, after the altar call, I prayed for a few sick people, and some people were saying how they got healed, breast tumor disappeared, and I was wondering, who cares about the healing? God has lied to me. I was pained. While everyone was seeing a great man of God, I wasn't seeing that. I was seeing my failures. The devil began to flash right in my eyes, all the things I've done that didn't work. I felt my life, I was doomed to fail. And when I got home, for the next couple of weeks, I stopped praying. I never had my morning devotion. I didn't have my quiet time. Didn't want to call on God. He had failed me, I said to myself. And everything just kept going down and down. Yet in the midst of that, I could still feel a sense of his love around me. And finally, I got to the end of my rope. I got to the end of the divine malice I was keeping with God, the end of myself and all the resentment I had towards God. And usually one of the things you want to accept in those days is that you also resent those who are doing better. Yes, you heard me. And one of those mornings I crawled, more like I was crawling to him, and I said, I missed you. I was expecting to hear a feedback like, you trash bag, you this, you piece of death. And all I heard was, I miss you too, son. And it was like a love that's been waiting to embrace me. I was not supposed to walk through that journey alone. Then the tears came flowing and I was asking questions. Why? Why did you lie to me? Why did you deceive me? Then he spoke to me and I found out I didn't understand what he was saying in context. He said, you were expecting me to make a meeting while I'm still making a man. My focus in this season is you, not the meeting. You are my concern. You see, the crowd that didn't come was meant to be the fire that will forge my heart and keep me in the place of humility. The rain and everything that was not going well was meant to prepare a man who will do what he has to do regardless of the hindrance. Character was to be formed that day. And that's the way it is. Sometimes we despise and hate the things that are supposed to form character in us because they are not pleasant. And sometimes not just because they are not pleasant, because they are not pleasant compared to those who are doing it better, those who are doing it right, those who are getting it easy. And the devil brings all the flashes and images and tells you, reminds you of all your failures that maybe you were doomed to fail. In the days that things are not right, stay. In the days that you've done everything right and things still go south, persevere. In the days that you've paid all the prices and everything, they are not getting the right attention they should get, build. Build in silence. Build with the pain. Let love flow freely from your heart. And that will happen when you have separated yourself from your outcomes. You are not your outcome. You are not your result. You are unique. You're a person made in God's image. When things are not fine, when things are not going well, that is the exact time the most important part of you is being formed. You are not your result. If you don't separate yourself now from the result you're trying to get, when the result comes, it will look like water that carries a boat, but now entering the boat, it will sink you. Once you become one with it, once you become identified with the accolades, it's getting into your head, you will sacrifice your authenticity for more of that. You will sacrifice the uniqueness, the twist in your journey. What if there are parts in the journey that comes after the accolade that will not take the accolade because you have to lead? When the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, they cheered. But the time will come, they will need food. and Moses will be about to be stoned. Can you endure? Leadership is not always about being in front. You must learn to lead from the shadows. You understand that your pain, your discouragement, your failures, everything happening visibly to you that are not nice, they become the material that the next generation can look at and learn how to trust God, regardless of the tunnel, regardless of the pain, regardless of the things that went down. That your life is not just a message when things are fine. It is also a message when things are bad. When things are fine, it shows people that God can be trusted. When things are bad, it also shows people that you can still trust regardless. You can wait in hope. You can build in silence. God is not just good when things are good. He's also good when things are not right. And sometimes the most important lesson are the things that we will find out later, not in the immediate. So the question is, what kind of leader do you want to be? Do you want to make sense, or do you want to leave a legacy? Do you want to get it quick, or you want to do it right? Whatever decision you make will reflect in the way you handle adversity. But my message for you today really is build in silence. Wait, even when things are not fine. I'll see you some other time.